Hello, so in this tutorial I'll show you how can you create a page in the presentation layer that will display some data from the some business logic service. So imagine that you have a business logic service which calls some data from some database. Let's say that's the previous examples in the previous tutorials, the previous videos that we have done. We are always using the same database diagram, which are the school, teachers and students. So for the sake of this tutorial we'll use exactly the same thing. So let's say that you have a service, a business logic service, which gets all schools that exist in your database. So in order to create a page that will list that schools, you can do that in multiple different ways through our framework. I'll show you one of that ways where you can just do that through drag and drop through our files diagram. So to do that, first thing to do is to log in our framework, choose the workspace, the selected project, and currently this is an empty project that we don't have currently any business logic services, so I'll just create some by default. So let's do this by diagram, let's choose the school, student and teacher, let's click next, then okay, it already creates all the correspondent services. And now what I want to do in the index page, so let me see currently what this index page has as a default template. As we can see, we could install a new template if we wish to. We will not do that now. So just open the page editor. So currently we are seeing the default template that comes with any projects. So this is a raw template, so the output will not be beautiful. If you want the output to be better, you need to install other templates, as we showed you before in the previous tutorials. So currently now we can just go here to the modules and we can open our DB drivers, DB diagram, go to school, and in the school we can just drag and drop the list of items. That's what we want for the sake of this tutorial, that's what we want you to show. So we drop this widget here and automatically appears a pop-up. So there are two ways of doing this: through HTML widgets, which I'll show you this after, and there is another option which is through the blocks. So let's choose here, I just want to have a list of schools with view action, and now I'll just do the proceed. Automatically it will open me here our files diagram. So what are our files diagram? Let's just close this. Our files diagram, it's a diagram where we can just drag and drop lists, forms and views all together, and we can decide what will be our UI. So for now we just have a listing here dropped. We can see the properties. Basically it is listing all the schools. We don't have any addition actions or deletions. We don't have any pagination, but we could have. We could see that it should show the school ID and the name, and we don't have any permission, so it's public. It's a public page. So we go back to our previous pop-up, which is here, continue, and we can just do this in two ways. Or we can ask the system to create the queries automatically from the presentation layer, or we can ask them to find automatically this in the business logic layer. So that's what we want to do. So we click here and automatically it shows us the layers that the presentation is linked with. So currently the presentation is linked with all the other layers, but for the sake of this tutorial we just want the system to find this in our business logic layer. So we select this one, we click next, find existing rules. It already connects with the correspondent rules, and it found two rules, which are these two rules from the business logic layer: the get all service, which is this service here, the get all. And now we put create files now with existing services and rules. Okay, so we click next, and is asking us, is checking if everything is okay, it is validated, so everything is okay. So we do the last action, save files above. So, and now it created by default some files, some block files with the correspondent code that will execute that business logic service and will show us then the correspondent response, the correspondent result, the correspondent metadata in a user-friendly way. This is just an example here. So if we save this and if we go then preview the page here, we can see that is already showing us the correspondent schools. If we go to advanced items, what this did basically was to create this block file here, which is exactly the same thing. Then click here, I can edit this block, which is the same thing, then click here. So this is one way of doing this. Then if you want to change it, you can always click edit and edit this correspondent block. This is like similar, this is a module called the form module, which basically is similar with Zapier. So we have sequential actions. So we can edit this in no code, and we can create our own UI. We'll not do this now, this is just an example. So this is one way of doing it. The other way is to do this through HTML widgets. So we just drop this again, let's drop this here. We choose this in HTML widgets. We can make the actions, this table, to be editable or not. Let's just put view as we did it before in the other option, the block option. So we just click proceed. So automatically the system will connect with the correspondent layers and will create automatically, and will try to find automatically the correspondent services and create the other ones if they don't exist yet. Basically we'll do a bunch of services and create a bunch of actions so we can have the list of schools. So it's already did. So basically what it does, this uses Bootstrap. So currently this template doesn't have any Bootstrap library. That's why you can see here the icons that they are not appearing, but basically it creates already the default HTML to show that correspondent list of schools. So if we save it, we should see two lists, one based in the widgets here, another one based in the blocks list. So there is something here that is missing. No, okay, everything is done, it's perfect. So if I do refresh here, I see automatically the school ID. So in here allows me to filter. By default I can just filter this by school, I can reset it, I can search again, I can reset it. So I'll just install a very quick template so you can see this in a better way. Well, as a matter of fact, I can do that through here. So let's just browse templates. I want to import a new template, and let's do this through our store, install it. So currently it is downloading and installing it. We just need to wait a while. So it's still loading, as we can see here. Okay, it's done. So the template is here already, and we can choose like this template here. So we choose this template, and automatically we can see that, oh, this template, it doesn't have the right Bootstrap library too. So let me import another one, which is this one here. This one, I believe it has the right Bootstrap library. So it's installing currently. So we just wait a while. Okay, done. So the template that we installed was this one. So we just choose the corresponding template, which is this one. And now I believe, okay, now we have here the icons and everything is beautiful. So we just save this and we do refresh, and automatically when we do refresh, I can see that is loading here my search bar automatically, which is much more beautiful, which can filter. I can search again, refresh it, I can just reset, I can select some items and remove them, I can sort, I can reset the sorts, I can select them all, refresh these. I have pagination, which there is not enough items to show the pagination. So basically this is a different way of basically this is a template. As you could see, just by changing the template, it changed dramatically the output with the right template. So basically this was just to show you how can you, based in some business logic services, how can you create a UI in a very user-friendly way, just by drag and dropping some items. The same action that we did through here, it could be achievable directly from the correspondent table from here. So if we go to the school table here and if we drop it through here, it will ask us exactly the same thing, exactly the same action, where we can choose HTML or block. That's it. Thank you very much.